the cold season is slowly but surely coming back, although this October is a little colder than October from last year. Today is actually October 14, 2018, Sunday. Yeah, 2 videos today. How about that? Did one on having my truck for a year. But anyway, these have been stored in the shed, so now it's time to just get them ready. So I did the boring part already, which is getting them out of the shed. The big one here I had to partially dismantle. Take this bolt out here. Back these off so I can move the handle forward. This I didn't have to do anything to. But what I'm going to do to both of them is pull the spark plugs, clean them with my spark plug cleaner. I have a video on that, so you can check that out. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the spark plugs and clean them on both machines, starting with Old Reliable. Alright, so let's see what we find. This takes a 13/16. Ooh, that looks pretty fouled. Not liking that. But then again, it hasn't really been running right. This thing is already 15 years old, if you could believe that. So, I'm going to clean that up right now. So here it is. Yes, that's the NECs on the threads. Now, one of the things I want to do while there's still no fuel in the tank, because I run these dry of fuel, let the fuel evaporate when I put them away for the summer, is I'm just going to pull on this a couple times. Just so we get the oil in the cylinder wall. And only then do I finally put the cylinder, not the cylinder, well, it goes into the cylinder head, the spark plug. So I'm just going to use my left hand. That's all the torque you really need. I got to go get it, but one thing I'm going to do off camera, I'm going to put a little dielectric grease on this boot, stick it on the spark plug. I'm not going to completely fill the tank. I'm putting just enough fuel in there to run the engine hot, to get the oil hot. And you'll see when I do the oil change, I really tilt it back, and I don't want to spill any fuel when I tilt it back. So I'm putting just a minimal amount of fuel in. So let me go take care of those 2 things. The dial for the choke is missing, so I just prime the hell out of it. And ooh, tough one. Alright, so while that's running, I'm going to work on this one right here. Alright, hopefully the camera picks me up over the noise of Old Reliable. But it's going to be the same deal here. Going to take the spark plug out first. Ooh, that one's stuck on good. I'm sure the spark plug has been changed before. There's some junk in there I have to blow out too, under the exhaust heat shield. Get it out. Just doing this all in real time so you can see the difficulty you might run into from time to time. Well, there she be. Not that badly fouled. It should be replaced, but you know what? I'll clean it and then we'll just do it for next season. There we go. So, likewise, little anti-seize. Now we just yeah, and it does that, so I'm going to get that socket out. smelled some raw fuel. So it was just a little bit left, but just enough to kick it over. But I'm going to do likewise with this machine. Put a few glugs of gas in it, and then I'll let that one run and get its oil hot while I go and do the oil change on Old Reliable. So, interesting turn of events here. As I was running this machine, I don't know where this oil is coming from. So, I'm going to hold off on changing the oil for that. I'm just going to send the machine out because the Cub Cadet also has to get sent out. So I'm holding off on the oil change on this for now, and I'm just going to proceed on this machine here. Alright, so I took the oil cap off. And for those who want to say 10 millimeter and 3/8 are the same, no, it is not. 10 millimeter is going to be a smidge bigger than 3/8. Alrighty then, so we got the oil plug out. I'm really not sure of the outcome of this. Don't worry, I have a magnet I can use to get the plug out. And I guess I should have used the 44-ounce cup, but no biggie. This will certainly do, and if needed, I can get another cup ready. And it's just oil draining. I think you get the idea here. And obviously, I'm going to take this machine, tilt it back some, so that way even more oil comes out, and I pull out as much of the oil as I possibly can. Now, it's going to be hard for me to hold the cup, the camera, and do all of that, so I'll be doing all of that off camera. So one method of recovering the drain plug, that's I'm going to pour it into this pan, pour the oil slowly. Yeah, so I almost filled a 44-ounce cup. So that's like a quart and a quarter-ish, I'm thinking. I don't know. See, this is a trick you can use. Now I know on that machine, because this bucket here doesn't exactly get under the drain plug that well. And bingo was his name-o. So, here is the drain plug. Now, let's install it, shall we? Alrighty, so just take the ratchet, just a little quarter-inch drive. I'll still use my right hand. That's all you need. Don't need a lot of force, so good. And now, we fill it up. Alright, so I got the little funnel in. We know it almost filled a 44-ounce cup, 32 ounces make a quart, so I'm going to pour this down to the first line over here, because this is the quart side. And we're going to see where we go from there. So I'm going to start with 1 quart. Pour it slowly. You can always add more oil. Yeah, it's tedious. It's a pain in the ass sometimes, but you can always add more oil. Try to hold this as level as I can. Alright, got a little more. Alright, so the battery's died. Kind of running out of time in daylight here, so I filled the oil. Went a little bit over than I wanted to, but now I don't know what the hatch lines mean on small machines. I know they mean a quart on cars, but I'm about half a hatch line over. No big deal. So you know, I poured the oil. The oil level dropped once I ran the machine for a little bit. I don't even think the camera's going to pick it up. So I'll let this sit now. Really let it cool down. I'm going to start cleaning up. Put Old Reliable back in the shed for now because it needs to be sent out and I don't want it pissing oil in the garage. And then, yeah, this sucker is ready to take on the winter. At least this one is. As for Old Reliable, we're just in the unknown with it. I know we did some major work to it in 2011, including rewelding the framing. This little thing owes us absolutely nothing. Maybe these things do have an oil pan gasket, which if they do, great. Maybe it's a seal, something cheap, great. Because we're not exactly in the position to replace it at the moment. So hopefully it's just something. I would like to see this thing go maybe just 1 or 2 more seasons. But let's see, 2011 was soon to be, holy crap, 8 years ago. So only time will tell, I'm afraid, and I'll just keep you good folks posted on that. See what the final fate of Old Reliable will be. Thanks for watching.